right, for this one, we want to express this as a power series. And they kind of give us a hint here by first using partial fractions, because we're going to have to separate this one and then again find the interval of convergence. So what we've been doing on these other ones is we want to make sure that if we have a geometric one, that it's the same as 1 over, sum's going to be 1 over 1 minus r if we have a geometric. So how do we make this one geometric? Like it said, we're going to do partial fractions on this. So if we got this series listed here, we're going to rewrite this as this in factored form. So we want to factor this out. And so we're going to have two terms here. One's going to be 2x times x to get our 2x squared. We know those last two terms are going to have to be 1s to multiply to 1. It's just which one of these has to be positive, one's going to have to be negative because we have a negative here. So which combination is going to work there? Well, we want it to add to negative x. So I believe this one's going to have to be negative and positive here. That way these two multiply to negative 2x and a positive 1x, and so those would add to our negative x. So now we have it factored. Next, we want to now write this out as two fractions that would be put together to equal what we have here. So a over 2x plus 1 plus a b times x over x minus 1 are two things in the denominator there should equal x plus 2 over this if we were to cross multiply. So now if we were to multiply by these to make the common denominator, it means we're going to have a times x minus 1 plus b times 2x plus 1 should equal our numerator over here. All right, so now let's use our quicker method of seeing which x values make this equal 0 faster. So x equals 1 should make this simplify, because then 1 minus 1 is 0. So over here, if we were to put 1 in, it's going to be 3b, equaling, if we put 1 on over here, it's also going to be 3, so it looks like b is going to be 1. Our other nice value here would be negative 1/2. Because that's going to make this one equal 0. And so if we put that in this other one, negative 1/2 minus 1 is going to be negative 3/2 a, being equal to negative 1/2 plus 2 is 1 1/2, which is 3/2. So that makes a b negative 1. And so now we can rewrite this function over here as the function of our a value, which was negative 1 over 2x plus 1, plus our b value, which was positive 1 over x minus 1. So now our goal is to try to make both of these look like our 1 over 1 minus r. For the first one here, we want to first, we don't want that negative there. So let's put that negative in front. And then on the bottom, let's rearrange those so it's 1 plus 2x. But we can use our trick before here then of, instead of writing it as plus, put minus negative 2x. So that one now is in the correct form that we want. Our second one, we want to also put in that same order. So we got the one on top part right. If we switch these around on the bottom, it's a little bit harder because it's minus. So what we got to do there is factor out a negative. And so if we factor out a negative, now this is going to be negative x plus 1. And if we switch those around now it's in the order that we want. And so I'm going to just pull that negative out and make this minus. So then it'd be 1 minus x. So now both of them look like our subtraction thing here. So what are the two summations then that are the same as that? This one would be the summation. Our value's this. So it'd be negative 2x to the n. But we also need to pull along that negative here. And then our other one, again, we got to pull along that negative would be the summation of just, here it'd just be x to the n. So what we want to do now is figure out that interval of convergence. So our interval of convergence here for this first one would be when negative 2x is less than 1. That means that 2x would be less than 1 or greater than negative 1. And if we divided by 2, that means x is going to be less than a half or greater than negative 1. Our other one here, this one's a little bit easier in that here we're just going to get that x is less than 1 or greater than negative 1. So, because here we just got x being less than 1. So these are our two things for convergence. Which one do we want to go with? Oh, I forgot to divide this one by 2. Which one do we want to go with? Well, we want one that encompasses everything. So this one is a little more restrictive than this one is. So if this one needs to be between negative 1/2 and 1/2, those same values are in this one, but the other values in here, like say 3/4, is not in this one. So we got to go with the more restrictive one. So this one should be convergent then. It should be convergent on the interval from negative 1/2 to 1/2. So that would be the interval of convergence that encompasses both of them. So if you got a partial fractions one, that's how you can work through and still find the radius of convergence.